Welcome to the Felt Dyslexic podcast. My name is Liz Buckridge. For me, as a dyslexic artist, other artists and creatives have always been my number one inspiration. On this podcast, we talk with artists and creatives who share their stories, and we gain insight into their process from inspiration to art tips, career building, and more. We are so lucky to listen to the wisdom of Ryan Burgess today, who's the owner and curator of Slack's Antique Mall. I'm excited to hear about his past and future projects and his insights on life as a curator and artist. Hi, Ryan.
Hello.
Thank you for talking with us today.
Thanks for coming in.
Describe the your art style, like how you curate, and what are you drawn to as far as your curating style? Yeah.
So mostly what I like in my everyday life would be a mid-century modern sort of 60s, 70s vibe. Anything that pertains to any of the mid-century modern, the colors, the materials, the velvets, the different vinyls, the crazy wild oranges and yellows and reds and all that. I try to put most of my artwork in the using those mediums as far as the furnitures, the woods, the colors of the paint that I choose for my store, and for the new venue. It all kind of pertains to the mid-century modern scheme.
I cannot wait for everybody to see this stuff. Do you collect or sell other time periods, or is it mostly mid-century?
As a businessman with the antique store, we like to sell what sells the most, which is the mid-century at the moment. But we do, however, have different time periods. We have anything from the 1800s on up to 80s, 90s. We try to keep stuff for everybody, and we do have artwork from different eras also.
I love this store. So how did you get into this? How did you get into selling antiques?
So I kind of started probably 20, 25 years ago with eBay and selling online when it first took off. I went that route, and I've always liked the antiques, and I've always liked the different styles and collected myself. And it just got to the point where I collected so much that I had to kind of buy a couple of buildings to house my stuff. And I always wanted to get into the antique mall business myself too. So that's kind of how I started that.
I love it. And how did you get into this specific mid-century? Like do you remember the first thing that drew you in?
I would probably say what probably most people say. It just brings back good memories of childhood. I'm 49 and grew up in the era when I was younger, and I think subconsciously it probably brings back good memories of my childhood and good times, and remembering the stuff whenever I was little. Maybe we couldn't afford it or didn't have it back then, and now I have a chance to collect it or display it or interior design it in my areas. That it makes me kind of feel good. Yeah,
It's like sentimental.
Yeah, it pretty much. Yeah, it's sentimental.
I love that. Um, okay, so this question is a little bit out of left field, maybe for a lot of people, but because my videos and website is geared toward dyslexic people, that's why I ask this. But do you consider yourself neurodivergent or neurotypical?
I would say neurodivergent. Definitely don't think like anybody else. I don't think I do. I'm not the typical thinker. Try to do things, whatever pops into my weird head at the moment. I try to run with them, and I definitely want to stand aside from the normal, typical business owner or artist because I just feel like I have a very detailed and divergent mindset.
I love it. Have you faced any challenges or setbacks in your career as a curator?
Um, I would say space. I don't have enough space. There's never enough space. 30,000 square feet isn't enough space.
So you just overcome that setback by buying more space?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, pretty much, or trying to move items as fast as possible.
So where did you grow up?
I grew up here in Wellsville, where the store's at. Store's on Fifth Street in Maine. I grew up on Ninth Street, just 4 blocks down from the store.
Local guy. Did you do art when you were a kid?
All yeah, all the time. I wish I could get more into the artwork as far as painting and drawing and stuff like that. I like architecture a whole lot. I like the old buildings and the architecture of them. Um, I just really don't have time to get into the painting and everything. Maybe after we settle down a little bit, we can get back into that again because I definitely love art. Did it a lot in high school. We had a great art teacher, Mrs. Mechanic, and took art for 2 or 3 years with her in school.
So you said a little bit about your favorite colorway. It's just probably my favorite subject is colors. Um, so the oranges and like all that mid-century color palette, do you decorate at home the same way as you decorate here?
That's a funny question that's came up before. Actually, our home looks nothing like that because my wife likes a different kind of style. She likes a more modern, as opposed to me liking the mid-century modern. She's kind of pushing her way into the mid-century modern a little bit, but we don't decorate like that at all at home. This is kind of the space that we do that in, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's a compromise, right?
Well, we did just recently purchase a 1953 Howard mobile home at a permanent lake spot, and it's decorated in all mid-century modern. So she did let me go that way. As far as uh, our retreat, it's mid-century modern.
God, I love that so much. Did your school system support your interests in art growing up?
Yeah, most definitely. Yes, they did.
Yeah, you mentioned that one teacher.
Yeah, Mrs. Mechanic. Yeah, they had a great art program when I was growing up, and I believe they still do have good art programs at the school.
Do you see your work evolving and changing in the future?
Oh, definitely. It always has to evolve and change to keep with the times, keep with the styles. Um, we like to evolve as much as we can, keeping it like I said before, to something that's a little bit different than the next business.
Yeah, this place is very, very cool. I've never been anywhere like it.
Well, thank you.
Um, is making art an emotional project or is like curating an emotional thing for you, or is it strategic?
It would definitely be strategic. Yeah, definitely strategic.
Oh my
Every
God.
once in a blue moon, it could turn emotional, but I guess that would depend on the mood I was in.
Can you walk us through the curating process from, I don't know, finding the pieces?
So I guess it would be the pieces kind of stand out to me. The stuff that I choose to go with kind of like sticks out like a sore thumb in my head. I've been doing this for so many years. I kind of know what I want. I find the pieces and then I will go to the area where I'll set up for the room, and for whatever reason, it just kind of like pops out of the air into my head, and I'm thinking this will be the spot for this chair, and that's where it ends up. There's really, I would say, no in-depth thought. I don't really even think twice about setting a chair or couch here. I just set it here, and it seems to take a nice space where I choose to set it. And it seems like customers enjoy how I set stuff up too. I get a lot of compliments on how I set up, and
Do you find your stuff online? How do you find this stuff?
well, we find it online. We find it at we go to different sales, estate sales, auctions. I may buy stuff off of eBay, just flea markets all over the place.
So fun. Um, is it hard to sell it? Is there any pieces that are just really hard to sell
I usually,
because you want to keep them?
yeah, I mean, the piece right behind me here is a perfect example. That's my baby. I love that set. But yeah, there's pieces like that that I buy that it would be very tough for me to come off of, unless I'm kind of back to running out of space. If I get to running out of space, um, there's a possibility I could sell stuff. There is pieces that I do like to hold on to.
Um, so how do people find your your curations, your antiques? We're gonna put them in the show notes too, but you have a website?
Yeah, we have Slacks Antique Mall. .com is our website. We have a Facebook, Slacks Antique Mall. We're on TikTok, Instagram, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I have a few other people, younger people, that help me out with some of the mediums online and that. But we're at 460 Main Street, Wellsville, Ohio, 43968. If you ever through the area, stop in. Open 7 days a week.
So, how do you stay motivated? This seems like a lot of work.
Well, I kind of retired from my job a few years ago, and this is kind of my livelihood now. So just keeping the business active and profitable kind of keeps me motivated as far as me being, I guess, semi-retired, and this still, helps out with paying, the utilities and stuff like that. So
Right.
that's a good motivation.
Come on in, guys.
Plus I like what I do, like what I do too. So
Yeah, I think that that's key, right? To love what you do.
yeah, I love it. I mean, this would never be considered a job by any means for me because it's my passion. Yeah, it's my passion.
Are there any creatives who influence you? Any other curators?
Um, I would say just any of the mid-century modern artists or architects would be who I kind of, I guess, maybe theme my stuff around as far as like, just the different types of furniture and stuff like that. Nobody in particular, I would say, um, as far as curators or artists. I just like the style.
So, what advice would you give someone that wanted to get into this?
I would just say the more you put into it, the better the better it'll be. You just can't want to do it and think it's a good idea without putting tremendous amounts of hours and time and labor into labor of love, your love of doing it.
Okay. What is your favorite book, movie, song, or podcast? Or like a top five of any of those things?
Um, but right now, as far as song, I've been listening to um, the Allman Brothers, the song Melissa. I really like that song at the moment. It's one of the songs I play a lot. I think it's a really nice song. As far as music, I like Led Zeppelin. I like The Doors. I'm all over the place. I really like jazz. Um, I like folk. Um, like I said, I like all different styles of music. Older country, I like that. Um, that's about it as far as I can think.
How about a book? What are you reading?
Uh, Actually, I'm reading the Greg Allman book right now has had out. It's a bestseller. I'm reading that right now.
Hmm. So, what book do you recommend? Sometimes it's different than your favorite book. Do you
Um,
recommend a certain book to people over and over again?
I just like a little bit of everything. Nothing in particular. No in particular book.
Comes and goes. You're just
Yeah,
inspired all over the place.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So, what would you like to talk about that I didn't ask? maybe about your new space up here?
Yeah, so we just recently 3 years in the making. The space that we're sitting in is was originally going to be the second floor of the antique store, and it ended up turning out a little nicer than everybody expected. And it's just we just had a soft opening Saturday, and we had a Okie Ross, a local band. They're great, folk rock band. If you get a chance to check them out, um, they played up here, and we're gonna. This is going to be a. It's going to be called the Rebecca, which this used to be an old Oddfellows hall, and we kind of that's another thing too. I like to kind of grab on history as much as I can and keep originality in anything that I do. This floor was the women's organization for the Oddfellows organization, and they were the Rebeccas. So the floor is going to be called the Rebecca, a mid-century modern venue at Slack's Antique Mall. So we'll be hosting different concerts, comedy clubs, open mic, karaoke nights, paint and sips. We have a craft lady coming in doing a craft show here coming up. So it'll be a place that you can rent and enjoy maybe your class reunion or just enjoy the space. We try to put it together so it's nice and comfortable and everybody can sit down and relax and then just enjoy whatever we have going on at the moment.
It is gorgeous.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Well, thank you so much, Brian, for letting us into your space
And
today.
thank you for coming.
I felt inspired for sure.
Oh,
I
thank you.
just always do when I'm around you. So inspirational, and much love to you. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Appreciate it.
listening.
Thank you.
Thanks.